this is where a lot of business owners fall short. They kind of build they call out the audience, they, create this desire and interest, but they're not really, they're sort of like, I don't want to sell people. I don't want to, well, how are you going to help improve their life if you don't sell them? Right.
Yes.
That this, and I've had these conversations recently with people who are like, well, I feel like I'm manipulating people. I said, manipulation can be good or bad. Like if your intention is to just get people's money, then you are manipulating people the wrong way.
Mm.
But if the goal is to help them and deliver value to their life and really bring um, a new element to their life that really helps them feel better about their life in some way, then you're manipulating them for good reason. I mean, JFK, Martin Luther King, and many others didn't get on the podium and start having a speech to just fluff you up. They were
Mm.
trying to manipulate you and to change your thoughts and how things could be different in your life, right? And that's
How
the
it,
same thing we have to do as
yeah,
marketers.
how it could be better. I think that
Exactly.
you have to flip it. You have to ask yourself, why is it your duty to sell your product?
Exactly. The universal responsibility to bring your products to your marketplace
Yes.
because you have value that others could benefit from. And you've got to find ways through these channels like Facebook and Google to reach people that you can help that are out there. Right.
Yes.
And that's why I move quickly from, hey, pointing out your frustration, the struggle, getting your business to the next level to, hey, I've got something for you that I've figured out so you don't have to fall on your face like I did and waste so much time and money trying to figure it out, right? So that's the key is AIDA, attention, interest, desire, action. And if
Very
you
good.
can't get people to align with whatever you're trying to offer, in your case, you use the lead magnet as the example, then either your messaging doesn't match the audience you're targeting or the thing that you think everybody wants, they don't care about. It's not there's not enough value being offered from the perspective of the target market. That's just all there is to it, right? You should be getting, if you're in the United States and you got a lead magnet report and the offer's pretty straightforward and it's directed to your specific market, I mean, you shouldn't be paying more than $5 for a name and an email address.
Mm.
If you are, then your offer isn't well put together or you're targeting the wrong audiences.
Okay, you already mentioned one of these mistakes. So, what are other common mistakes that entrepreneurs make when it comes to Facebook ads? So, the one thing was the call to action is not clear. That was one mistake.
Yeah, the others are they're using the traditional theatrical ratio images, right? The rectangle image. Um, Most people subconsciously they think those are ads, so they just scroll right by them. So you want to use square images on Facebook and Instagram feeds because that's what looks native. It looks natural. It looks like my friend posted it, right? We have to remember that we're putting these ads in the same channel that they connect with their friends and family and colleagues, right?
Mm.
So as a brand, whether personal or a business brand, we want to make sure that we align and look like a natural post within their feed. We don't want to look like an advertisement. So
Mhm.
simple stuff like that, where they're using the rectangle image instead of using a square tall image, is something that I see all the time. The other thing is just targeting audiences that are too small. Right,
Mm.
they're using audiences that are like have 100,000 people in it. I mean, it might work for a couple of days or even a week, but after that, it just doesn't give Facebook enough room to run. So most of my audiences are 1 to 3 million in size. So even if you're a local business, or a regional business, you'll want to make that audience as big as possible. Facebook is so smart. I mean, they're tracking like 10,000 data points on all of us.
Mm.
And so, you can really open it up. I mean, a lot of times I have offers that really only align with people that are like 30 or older, but I'll still leave it when I first start things out. I'll still leave it 18. I'll just leave it wide open on age, right? I don't go in there and start really making things, tight with age and gender and demographics and all that. I leave it pretty much wide open, and most of my audiences are very large, 1 to 3 million in size. Even though they're targeted, they're still very large. And you'll want to do that because ultimately you'll end up paying a lot more for those impressions in Facebook if you start. It's sort of like, hey, if you think you're smarter than Facebook, and you're going to start selecting all these things that sort of limit the audience and make it more what you think is more targeted as a marketer in your logical left brain. What you're going to find is that Facebook's going to make you pay a lot more for those impressions, simply because you're not letting their algorithm figure it out for you. So my point is that Facebook's algorithm will do a lot of the work for you in terms of getting your ads in front of the right people that are going to take the action based on your objective that you chose. And I highly recommend that you let them do that as opposed to selecting a bunch of criteria that Facebook gives you. I mean, the thing you have to realize is that Facebook is trying to serve every business type under the sun. And so they need all these options because they have brands that, care about certain types of interactions on Facebook, and other brands like us that likely just want people to opt in, buy stuff, right? Other bigger brands have different objectives. And so they put in a lot of options so that, there's a lot you can do in terms of targeting and the way that you do things. But in general, what I find is that their algorithm has gotten so good and so smart that they can, if you let them sort of run with the advertisement based on your core targeting and interest or lookalike audiences, then the rest of it, Facebook will figure out for you and go ahead and optimize for you.